Welcome to another episode of ISD 3.
We've got a packed show today with information on parent-teacher conferences, a look at Truman's homecoming, and plenty of sports.
We'll kick things off at Truman, where it was a busy homecoming weekend. An assembly on Friday was followed by a football game. Then, on Saturday, was the homecoming dance. We caught up with some of the people that played key roles in the homecoming weekend to get their thoughts. All right, I'm here with Milana Galetti, and she won Homecoming Queen here at Truman, so I'm just going to be asking her a few questions. I'm here with McLean Graffio, and he won Homecoming King here at Truman, so I'm going to be asking him a few questions. Did you think that you were going to win Homecoming Queen?
I actually didn't. I was really nervous about the whole process because a lot of us were really well liked on the court. So, it was fun, though. It was fun being with a group of people that I knew, but I did not think I was going to win.
Did you think you were going to win Homecoming King?
I actually wasn't expecting to win. I thought it was a really even race between all the candidates. It was great that I did, but I wasn't really expecting it.
How did you feel after you won, after they announced your name?
I was kind of surprised. I was just like, oh, they really did. It was really fun, though, and I was really excited when I won, but I definitely was surprised.
I was really excited and relieved, and glad that I had a fun experience.
All right, and last question. Why do you think you won?
I talk to a lot of people. I'm not super close to a whole bunch of people, but I love to yap. I love a good yap session. So I would just go up to people in the hallway and be like, hey, vote for me.
I think being in a lot of different activities definitely helps, and reaching out to a lot of different people, and I don't know, maybe my video helped a little bit too.
All right, anything else you want to add?
Thanks for voting for me.
Hello, I'm here with Grace Stone, and she is on the exec board for Stuco here at Truman High School, and I'm going to be asking her a few questions about planning for homecoming. So, what's it like planning homecoming and the assembly, getting all that ready?
It's really fun, a little hectic just because of how much stuff we have to get done, but other than that, it's really fun, and yeah.
Did you like the final product, how everything turned out?
Yes, I absolutely did. We practiced a lot on the assembly, making sure everyone can hear our voices, and we worked really hard on the decorations for homecoming.
All three schools will hold parent-teacher conferences next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's a busy time of the year for teachers and students. Andy joins us now with teacher perspective on parent-teacher conferences.
Parent-teacher conferences are a bi-yearly event that many parents attend, where they learn about their child's academic progress and in-school attitude. But how do teachers feel about it?
How do you prepare for student-teacher conferences?
Make sure my grades are all up to date and that I've communicated home what kids are missing and anything I've seen in class.
I prepare for student-teacher conferences by updating my grades, making sure they're all completely up to date. I then print out any student that I have that has a D or an F. I print out a missing assignment list to give to the parents as well so that they know which ones they're missing. If it is an F, then I also pull those assignments out of my late work bin to give to those parents.
So preparing for student-teacher conferences, I make sure my grading is all up to date. And when parents come in, we just kind of chat about each student.
One of the first things that I do is start looking at my students' grades so I know who I might expect to see and also who I might need to call and invite to parent-teacher conferences.
Are there any problems that usually come with parents-teacher conferences?
Not usually. The parents that come are wanting to hear about their kids, so even though sometimes the parents may be upset by what they hear, I don't usually have much backlash on that side.
The only problems I have are I feel like there's not a whole lot of parents that show up for those. I used to like when we used to do scheduled specific meetings. I feel like that ended up doing really well with being able to get all of the teachers on the same track with students who were struggling.
I have not had any problems in the past at all.
It's pretty rare that I have problems at parent-teacher conferences. Sometimes I have concerned parents, but usually no one is mad. They know that their kids either need help or aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing and want to get them to a passing grade. So usually people are pretty kind.
Do you feel like parent-teacher conferences are necessary?
Yes, I think parent-teacher conferences are a good way for parents to connect with their kids' education and have a chance to come talk to a teacher.
Absolutely. Having that interaction with the parents sometimes gets them to see you and you get to see them and you guys get to talk in the light and make sure that you guys are on the same level and understanding of where students are and what they can do to improve.
Of course, checking students' grades and attendance is always important.
I think so. There's definitely it's hard to schedule times to meet parents when any time is workable and available, but if you have a set time of this is when I'm available for you to come in, it's much easier to get parents and teachers together.
Thanks, Andy.
I also managed to catch up with a teacher at Van Horn to hear their thoughts on a busy couple days for teachers. I'm here at Van Horn High School with
Deborah Glenn.
And what is your opinion on the upcoming parent-teacher conferences this week?
Parent-teacher conferences are really the best time to really understand who your students actually are. It lets you see them through their parents' eyes, which I think is so important as a teacher, to be able to realize that this isn't just a kid in a chair, that this is a kid that has a family that have hopes and dreams for them. And by being able to relate that to what I see in the classroom is really just a great opportunity and is what teaching should be all about.
Are you excited to meet the families of your students?
Oh, I am, and usually it's you can be ooh, this one really looks like mom, or this one really looks like dad, and sometimes you're oh.
Yeah.
But it's also really fun to see their personalities, and sometimes it's just not a surprise at all when you meet their parents, kind of what you've seen in that kid throughout the year so far, and that's always just really to see the power of genetics, I guess, is just really fun.
Now it's time to go over to Will with all the latest on sports in the district.
Fall sports season is quickly coming to an end. Most sports begin districts over the next few weeks, and one local team is dreaming big. The Truman volleyball team is 22-4 this year and has a legitimate shot at making a run to state.
I'm here with Madison Harris, and she is on the volleyball team. So what position do you play?
I'm a setter.
How do you think that the team is doing as a whole?
I think we're doing really good this year. We've only lost 3 games, and they've been against really good teams.
Awesome. And is there anything that you personally or the team as a whole needs to work on?
I think we need to work on our attitudes a little more. I think during the game we just kind of shut down, and if we were more positive, then we could win more.
Truman volleyball isn't the only local team winning big. The Van Horn soccer team ousted their rivals from Truman earlier this week and are now 12-2 this year.
I'm here with
Andrew Barron.
How does it feel so far to be 12-2 this season?
It feels really good knowing that our team is putting in the work every day, knowing that every game we go into we have the good mentality, and just having a positive record sets us up for district.
Did it feel good to beat Truman?
Oh, it always feels good to beat Truman. Truman are our rivals. It was a pretty physical game, and I really enjoyed it.
Finally, we'll head over to Chrisman, where their tennis team is preparing for districts.
Alrighty, so how do you feel about going to districts?
I'm very excited. I think that we're going to do pretty good, and I'm really excited that we get to be there.
How has your season been so far?
Overall, it's been kind of a rough season for the team. However, I do think we've had some people on it who have had a really, really strong season. The varsity and JV and novice, we've all battled really hard. We've lost a lot, but we've also had, silent victories.
How do you expect to do at districts?
So it's a little bit hard because we're in a kind of hard district. So hopefully we can do somewhat well. Not expecting too much, but I feel like the low expectations are going to make a victory even better.
Thanks, Will. That wraps it up here from ISD Studios.
We'll see you in 2 weeks for another episode of ISD 3.